Let me ask you something uncomfortable. When was the last time you did something just because you enjoyed it? Not to build a brand, not to generate income, not to post about it, not to turn it into anything, just because you wanted to. Think about it honestly, because for a growing number of people, that experience is becoming genuinely difficult to access. And the reason why is what we're decoding today. Somewhere in the last decade, a cultural instruction got installed. Monetize everything. Your photography, your cooking, your fitness routine, your knowledge, your weekends. If you're good at something and you're not charging for it, you're leaving money on the table. That's the message, delivered constantly from every direction. And it sounds like opportunity. It isn't always. Here's what's actually happening. The moment you monetize a hobby, your psychological relationship with it changes completely. Not gradually, not partially, completely. Before monetization, you did it because it felt good. The reward was intrinsic, internal, immediate. You painted because painting felt satisfying. You cooked because cooking was enjoyable. You wrote because writing gave you something nothing else did. After monetization, the reward structure shifts entirely. Now there's an external metric: revenue, engagement, growth, performance. And your brain, which is extraordinarily sensitive to external reward systems, starts optimizing for the metric. Not the joy, the metric. And slowly, sometimes quickly, the joy disappears. Not because you burned out, because you changed the game you were playing. This is called the Overjustification Effect. External rewards applied to intrinsically motivated behavior reduce the intrinsic motivation. It's not a theory. It's one of the most consistently replicated findings in behavioral psychology. You didn't lose passion for your hobby. You monetized it away. But here's the layer most people never examine: rest. Genuine cognitive rest, the kind your nervous system actually needs. Rest requires activities with no performance metric attached, no output, no audience, no revenue target, just experience for its own sake. Side hustle culture didn't just monetize hobbies, it quietly eliminated the entire category of guilt-free unproductive time, because now every moment not generating income feels like a moment wasted. Every weekend not building something feels like falling behind. Every evening spent doing nothing profitable carries a faint but persistent sense of failure. That feeling isn't motivation. That's chronic low-grade exhaustion wearing motivation's clothes. Now here's the decode most people need to hear. The pressure to monetize everything didn't emerge organically. It was culturally manufactured. During a specific period, roughly the last 15 years, wages stagnated relative to cost of living. Housing, healthcare, education, childcare. The primary income stopped being enough for a growing percentage of people. But instead of addressing that structurally, the cultural narrative shifted responsibility onto the individual. You don't have a wage problem, you have a monetization problem. Start a side hustle, build a personal brand, hustle harder. The side hustle isn't just a financial strategy, it's a cultural pressure valve, releasing tension that should be directed at systemic wage stagnation and redirecting it toward individual productivity. You're not hustling because you're ambitious. You're hustling because the primary income was quietly broken, and nobody wanted to say it clearly. So what's the actual decode here? Not never start a side hustle. Some side hustles are genuine opportunities. Some turn into meaningful income streams. Some become businesses worth building. The decode is this: know why you're starting one. If you're monetizing a hobby because you genuinely want to build a business around it, eyes open, joy sacrificed, knowingly, metrics embraced deliberately, that's a real decision. But if you're monetizing a hobby because the cultural pressure made rest feel like failure, because you felt guilty enjoying something without extracting value from it, because you couldn't remember the last time you did something purely for yourself, that's not opportunity. That's exhaustion with a business plan attached. Protect the things you do for no reason. Not everything needs a revenue model. Not every skill needs an audience. Not every weekend needs to be productive. Rest isn't laziness, it's maintenance. And a mind that never genuinely rests eventually stops generating the creativity, clarity, and energy that any hustle actually needs to survive. The trap isn't the side hustle. The trap is believing your value as a person, as a mind, as a human being is measured by your output. It isn't. And the sooner you see that mechanism clearly, the sooner you can decide intentionally rather than react exhaustedly.